This is hilarious. This whole situation is hilarious. So, obviously, I picked the whole Mercury team to show up in Alyssa Thomas jerseys. It was just her wife, fiance. I'm not sure their relationship. Fair enough. Like, no matter how much Alyssa Thomas is completely in the wrong in this scenario, look, DeWanna Bonner is always going to support her. You can't have any issue with that. Let's be very real. No matter what, you can't have any issue with that. And then Tibbetts before the game coming out here saying, like, is the photo? I respect Stephanie White and I understand standing up for a player, but to say 2 cheap shots in that game is ridiculous. Valerie Yai charged at Caitlin, and then when Caitlin's follow through hit her shoulder, ran down holding her face. So, I don't know if I'll go full cheap shot on that, but like, yeah, pretty bad. Pretty bad from Yai there. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty grim. But I'm gonna be real here. That was all around a not very good situation. That was all around not very good situation for anyone, and no one would talk about the Yai thing or the Lexi Halwin if they were just called. But then you got this weird thing. We're with AT. We wish it would have been handled the right way. We wish somebody called her and checked on her and made sure she was okay. I don't think it played out how it should have been professionally. I'm going to be very real. Like, is there a different argument to be had to say the league should be reaching out to players whenever these situations happen to make sure they're all okay? Because, like, obviously, like, there's some not off the court stuff that can be issues. Sure, I'm going to be very real. It's one of those things now where if you want to make that argument, sure. But this is a league that doesn't reach out to players. And with that being said, with this league not being a league where players get reached out to, you have to take into account that what people are essentially asking for is that the league is going to check the mental health of the perpetrator and not the victim. If you want to say both of them, sure, but that's not the argument the cop was trying to make. Kind of like Kaz said, we don't think it was handled in the best way. There's a lot of narratives going around her false and untrue. That's not who she is. The narratives that she is a dirty basketball player are true. I don't know Alyssa Thomas, the person. Alyssa Thomas could be the nicest human being in the world. I have no idea. I don't necessarily care because that is absolutely irrelevant to the point of my point about Alyssa Thomas, the basketball player. Like, everybody fucking was hyped up Fee's tear down of Kathy Engelbert. Why did Fee tear down Kathy Engelbert? Because Alyssa Thomas was allowed to plow through her ankle and break her. Like, again, Fee has not played basketball since Alyssa Thomas decided she didn't care whether or not she hurt her on a drive. I'm not saying Alyssa Thomas went out to hurt her. I'm saying Alyssa Thomas didn't care whether or not she hurt her. There's a big, big difference. There's a big, big difference in those two statements. So people saying, oh, she didn't go out to hurt Fee. I never said that. Like, we've got Tibbetts talking about how the league didn't get both sides of the story. And I'm like, what are they talking about? Like, the league not getting both sides of the story, complaining about Stephanie White now. What do you mean both sides of the story? Like, an interview process doesn't have to be made, even if it's unintentional. Like, a throat punch is probably a suspension in any sports league. You are probably suspended. And unpopular opinion, a flagrant 2 should be an automatic 1-game suspension. Like, a flagrant 2, whether, no matter what, should be an automatic 1-game suspension. And I don't think that should be a crazy statement to make. Like a straight red card in soccer is an automatic 1-game suspension. And ironically, an ejection is an automatic 1-game suspension. And like, I wouldn't even be that annoyed at those rules. If you get yourself tossed, it's a 1-game suspension. If you pick up a flagrant 2, it's a 2-game suspension. If you get 2 flagrant 1s, it's a 1-game. If you pick up a flagrant 2, it's 2. I wouldn't be opposed to those rules. Like, I wouldn't have been opposed if the WNBA were like 1-game suspension for Maisha Hines-Allen. It's just this weird thing where suspensions haven't been given. People are like, oh, this is the first time in Alyssa Thomas's 13-year career she's been suspended. Yes, they don't suspend anybody. They don't suspend anyone. And people talking about, the Sophie Cunningham situation last year. If I'm being real, Sophie Cunningham and JC Sheldon should have been suspended. Let's make that very clear. Like, obviously, JC Sheldon, or obviously, if you suspend Sophie, you suspend JC, you probably should have suspended both of them. Like, that's not a crazy statement to make. Like, this league has been too lenient on foul calls forever. And now suddenly it's this massive issue when they're not. When they're not overly lenient. Like, we joked about it and we're like, remember the where amazing happens NBA thing? We were editing it to Caitlin Clark clips and saying where violence happens when she was a rookie year. This is basically it. It's like, oh yeah, we're doing everything we can to make sure that Alyssa Thomas is the victim here. No matter what, even if you are the most reasonable person ever, and I mean this, Alyssa Thomas has gotten far wider spread and more hate than she has deserved for this. Because obviously, being a dirty basketball player does not mean you should get some of the shit that she's gotten. Like, this is a fact. Like, some of the shit that she's had to probably see about herself that is being probably forwarded to her by other people. Yeah. Duh. But, like, I'm being very clear. Like, she's not the victim here. The victim is the person who they have made out to seem as the aggressor, which was the player who just got, she attempted to elbow Caitlin Clark, jumped on her, put a fist on her throat, kneed her in the groin, and attempted to stomp on her. Like, we got to be very clear. If it was just this, she's probably not getting suspended. It was 3 back-to-back cheap shots. 3 back-to-back cheap shots. And I don't think Nate Tibbetts believed what she said, or what he said, because he's literally he's reading a script, and I think he's just trying not to lose his team, because let's be very clear. It is what it is. I don't think he's trying to lose his team. And even if you are completely against what Alyssa Thomas said, you're her coach, you got to defend your player, even if it's wrong. And anyone expecting Tibbetts to do anything different, they're crazy. But yeah, look, it is a mad one. And the hilarious thing is they fucking won the game anyway. Can we get some Mercury are better without Alyssa Thomas narratives, like when Caitlin Clark's team win a game without her? Can we get those narratives back in? Maybe not. Are we allowed to get those narratives in? But yeah, look, I'm going to be clear. This is weird. Like, nobody checked on her. This isn't a big conversation about how the league doesn't check on players. This is a specific, isolated incident to say the league should check on a player punching another player in the throat. Like, you've got literal doctors coming out and saying that, like, Alyssa Thomas was not far. Like, Alyssa Thomas, if she was more forceful in that, could have put Caitlin Clark in a wheelchair. I don't know what the case is for that. I'm not going to go that far. But we've got actual doctors that have come out and say that. It was the most obvious suspension worthy, and it was as lenient as humanly possible. But anyway, that is the video. I'll see you guys.